Fine. Twitch chat, you know, you are valued so much as you are helping all of us as a whole. But to be a little bit serious here, HamTornado, of course, we've seen a lot of different looks at it, and might see a new one here. Skyfoxes, again, normally I'd say they're going to change everything up, but I think this might be for real.
We've seen them try to use this composition earlier in the same match. They want to try to use something where they can utilize more DPS heroes, try to be more mobile. HamTornado first isn't a bad point for it either. It looks like they're going to be going with a full dive, single tank setup once again with the triple DPS.
I think what we're going to see here is that after Envy wins a fight, now that the Hammond isn't playing, you could see someone go to the Sombra. Sombra very good against Hammond, especially if you're going to stubbornly stick to it. But for now, double projectile DPS with the Sombra in tow. Right
now, Skyfoxes is just looking to get the Nano Blade first, maybe get the EMP. Those are their two fight winners for this particular point because they have nothing else on the field, and Envy won't have any defensive ults yet. Though Crimzo is building at an alarming rate.
Kalios just barely able to get over to the big health pack there. Was under pressure. No Name lucky to get away as well. And Doozy!
Doozy, no!
That's what hero
Doozy is dead. Crab emojis in chat. What?
I don't understand. There wasn't a hack going in there. I mean, Hammond, the one thing he usually does well is that he lives. He lives forever.
Well, it happens. That happens, and now Crimzo just cleaning up. And you know, we talked about how we couldn't have Envy get all of those support ults because they need the support ults to counter these game winners for Skyfox, these fight winners. Crimzo almost has a trance. They're gonna have a rally through both things that are very strong against both the EMP and the Blade.
And he can hold that Transcendence up until Dragon Blade makes its grand appearance. So a win condition for the Skyfoxes now, they have to worry about forcing out the Transcendence. They're gonna dive on in. Hammond first to come on in. Genji over to the left side. And Doozy again, eating a lot of damage early on, more so than you expect to Hammond. Nice isolation from McGravy, looking to the far, takes it down. The aid of the Discord Orb. And Envy just getting good cleanup here, even though McGravy is demeched.
This position from McGravy that he's playing, by the way, is so strong. He's denying the high ground. Kalios tried to drop the Solo Blade on the baby. Will he get anything else? He's gonna get fire too.
It works out.
There's the EMP. Will he get anything else?
It gets two. It's actually a totally fine Dragon Blade. Carries the fight. Kalios, again, being the one ray of hope right now for the Skyfoxes, and it works out.
That was probably the best. That is one of the great things of these triple DPS competitions. It allows a lot of individual autonomy. You can sort of make a snap decision when you see an opening like that. And that's what Kalios saw. He's like, I see two players. Verbo's here with me. I can clean them up. And then we just EMP on the point and finish from there.
There was a very dark part of my mind, though, that thought he was going to die to the baby demon.
Yeah, I was a little worried at that as well. I was gushing over McGravy's positioning. I was really worried he was going to pull out the baby demon pistol and actually just take him out. But well played from Skyfoxes. Their plan, though, not exactly as coordinated as it could have been. That was the right play. That was a good playmaking for them. But Envy are going to have almost 5 ults for this defense.
And by comparison, Skyfox is doing a full swap over into a 3-3. They have nothing. It's going to take them multiple pushes here just to get into a good shape. And Envy should realize that. Envy should delay this fight as long as possible.
Which they are. They're sort of waiting for them to cross the corner. There's the engage. Both bubbles out. Will they be able to get a bash out? There's the bash, but no shatter going in.
And it's good pressure on the Doozy right now. The shield's eating a lot of damage. There's a lot of upright in his face pressure, and it's enough. They're going to deal Doozy immediately, and Skyfoxes didn't have a lot of tools to keep him alive there with how they engaged.
Doozy is getting focused incredibly hard in all these fights, and something that Skyfoxes should be doing better is if you are getting that much focus fire put into Doozy, not just support him, but also the rest. That means the rest of your team isn't taking that damage, and they need to be moving aggressive and punishing the forward positioning of Envy.
And look at Envy. Everything's going to be up here aside from the rally, but they still have armor from the last rally. They couldn't be happier with how things are at right now.
That was a really good engage. Skyfoxes, though, they're building up some ults of their own, but this is going to be another dry fight scenario for them unless they're able to open anything up because the ult bank is still so strong for Envy.
I mean, Luna did a good job of building Transcendence in the last fight, so maybe they get that early, but just they struggle so much at actually moving up here. And Fisher is just going to wait to drop the grab, keeping an eye on where the D.Va is. Doozy already down, though, and he gets the save. This is the worst part about what we're seeing is that Trill gets a good shatter, but everyone else gets to hold on. Skyfoxes is not making Envy invest nearly enough in these fights.
They just isolated Doozy again. He got caught on that high ground. The rest of the team wasn't able to go support him. They were able to pick him up, and then now they were able to hold the grab, and Jar was going to have another rally.
The difficult part here, too, is that when you lose your Reinhardt that early, that's stop button for the rest of the other team, where they're not going to throw anything more into the fight.
They really won't. Skyfox is making the right play as well, especially in the ult. They should have been doing this before. They should have been going to point and forcing them to use ult rather than taking the fight on high ground, because now they're forcing them to come to them.
Well, McGrave is looking for knockoff, doesn't quite get it. Fisher going to the back, telegraph, grab, still going to connect. Gets the grab, force out the Transcendence, and Fisher going to be taking down Doozy. The Reinhardt is down despite the Transcend being in play, and it's too big of an edge here for Envy. It's going to be easy cleanup.
Skyfox is also investing 2 ults in that fight. They put out both Trance and the Rally. They are going to get some of their fight winners, though. They will have that combo. And Envy just invested 3 ults. So this is their opening. They have that ult ad. They do have the time. They should take the fight to point again.
So this is Skyfox's best opening that they'll likely have all map long. How do they make this work?
They go to point. They go to point. Don't take the fight to high ground. There's no reason to. You don't have an overwhelming ult advantage. You should go to point, force them to drop to you, and then you can try to catch them with your grab.
See how they want to do it here. They do go straight over, and oh, no knock up from the Gravy. Doesn't quite connect, so you're right. They bring it straight to point. Grab out, grab eaten.
The grab is eaten. No.
The Gravy right there, and the entire combo win condition out the window. Envy trying to hold it out here. They get on Doozy. They move forward, and Trill still has a shatter in reserve because Doozy's did nothing.
And Doozy just decides to drop that shatter there as well with almost no HP. They didn't have a grab. They were down players. Interesting ult usage. Interesting ult usage in that fight. They had all the ingredients, but that grab being eaten was huge from Gravy. That was their win condition. And now they're going to catch No Man out so late, too.
And the worst part about all of it is that McGravy's going to be insufferable. I mean, we've both hung out with McGravy. Great guy, but really does like his own work. And he's going to be going back to everyone and be like, do you see that grab eat? You see that grab eat? We did. We saw the grab.
We won't hear this bit.
No.
Well, he's earned it. He's earned it after I've roasted him so much in the past. You know, he's earned it.
Wait, how far back do you go in roasting McGravy?
Well, I'm mainly just referring to this contender seasons.
Okay.
Mostly. That's pretty much it. But Skyfoxes, now they've used a lot of ults. No Name is already at 70% though, so good ult, but Envy had 6. They have 6 ultimates in this fight.
Verbo gets the armor pack on just in time. Good coming out from Polaris. Fisher looking for a grab opportunity. Already melts down No Name. Man advantage. And again, this keeps happening where Skyfox has to give up an early pick for free.
They are just getting caught out on these rotations. They're not keeping people alive when they're following up, when they're moving to point, because moving to point is the right play, especially when you're at an ult disadvantage, because you're forcing them to split. You're not taking it into an easy choke for them. Well, it is somewhat of an easy choke still because you have to go through low ground, but that is the right play, but they're losing people on rotation, which they can't. They cannot be losing people on rotation.
I mean, the only thing I can say good about the Skyfoxes have been moving in through low ground is that they haven't been getting moved off. They've been able to avoid McGravy in that regard, but other than that, it's been real tough, and we'll see what No Name does here again as he's going to have the grab up.
Skyfoxes is just, this is honestly, you can't invest ult in this fight unless you get a pick. You actually need to take an early fight. They get McGravy so early, though. They're actually able to force the bomb. They bash him. They focus him down this orb. They get a gold out of it, so not bad, honestly.
Well, it means that Fisher isn't going to have to fall through the bomb that he would love to get here. Going to see the rally come up for the Skyfoxes. They rotate back around the high ground. More momentum to their side. Jumping on down. Going to be seeing a Transcendent soon here in all likelihood. People starting to get low. You got to save Kalios and Transcendent. Saving Kalios and Doozy. It's a good one. The grab that wasn't eaten again?
No, it was not. It was not eaten again. They just did that combo so late, though. Kalios did not combo. They lose Doozy and Claris as well.
I'll grab back the other way, and it's more than enough. Doozy and Claris down immediately, and Envy just gonna chase it down, and everyone's running away from the point, but guys, it's overtime. You gotta go back the other way.
You have to touch the point. You must touch the point, Skyfoxes.
Well, don't think that's happening.
No, it is not. That was Envy putting up a dominant defense. Despite the great first push from Skyfoxes, they once again falter in this combo. We see here, this is where they engage, they set up the rally, they do the trans to keep Kalios alive, and they don't get, look at this combo, Kalios with bomb, where's the bomb? Where's the bomb?
Incredibly late. Incredibly late.
And they just needed the bomb. They couldn't focus the Reinhardt afterwards. Then they just get grabbed. They're split around the pillar so they don't get beat from Verbo. And it's just cleanup. It's just cleanup from there. You have to bomb. Kalios was probably waiting for the bash, waiting for some more focus onto that shield, but he couldn't. He could not wait. You must bomb.
Especially there where, what are you waiting for? The next fight? What are
it's the last fight.
What are you saving for? The apocalypse is now. Spend all your money. Run on the banks.
You just have to trust. You have to throw it out there and say, please, please, Diva Bomb gods, give me a 4K or 3K or anything. Because that is your best bet. Even if your team was still getting up from the shadow, that was still your best bet. And the bomb would allow you to better focus fire post-fight as well. It'll allow you to come together a little bit better. It's almost like a glue, but they just weren't able to set it up properly. And even though they've had some okay rotations, losing people on the rotations, making the right choice to go to point, you just can't lose them that early.
And it's a little bit unfortunate for Skyfoxes, where they did have a more innovative way of taking first. Kalios coming in as a hero Genji, seizing the moment, but the sort of tale we keep running back into is that when Skyfoxes has to play the meta comp that you must play right now if you want any success in Overwatch, they don't play it very well at all.
No, that is definitely the breakdown there. And really, maybe if they have such little success, they shouldn't even be trying to force it. They should be trying to play their strengths. It's really something that maybe sometimes gets overlooked because you feel pressure to play a certain way. But if you're actually that unsuccessful, maybe you should be trying to do something else. Now, Envy rolling on this first offense. They're just going to look, maybe, are they going to do what we saw yesterday? Oh, they're just going to rotate. No isolating any targets.
And they were looking for Doozy, but there was a nice shield coming in onto him from No Name, so they're going to hold that off. But instead, they're going to do a standard thing, right? You go up to high ground, you let everyone get their cooldowns and health back, and then you jump on down.
Envy just doing a very solid rotation here, not losing anybody. Now they're to the point, they're just going to have to look for a brawl. Will they be able to catch anyone? Calio's already so low. He does get out, but now Calio's, he's too afraid to be in the front line. They can be so aggressive.
But while he's gone, who's protecting Doozy? No one. Doozy getting chunked on the other end. So is Claris. Everyone's still alive, but not for long. Fisher shoots the gap, gets one right in, and with the Brigida down and Envy still alive, that's going to be the fight. They're all going to heal up, and now you have to win this Brigida? Not happening.
Skyfoxes, please, what are you doing? The point's capping. They have so much point control. You're down a player. You're down a player, Skyfoxes. You have to go to points.
You need to respond. If you die here, it's going to be tough. Grab comes in. They get to grab and Transcendence out, but now they're going to lose the point and they're not going to be set up.
They committed so many ults for this fight, too. They were down a player. They let them cap. What? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. And now Envy, they're running the point. They have they have 4 ults that rallies out. They're still in spawn, yes.
This is why you don't.
Oh my
and
goodness.
You had the C9 on top.
Well, it happens. It happens. You know, unlucky. That's unlucky. Yeah, go again. Re-queue.
That's not unlucky. That's
what
bad
can you do?
Play. Bad shot calling. But I don't know.
I don't even know how to describe that moment. That was, you were down a player, you're giving up the point, and you commit.
I think for me, it's the C9 at the end where...
And then you're in spawn, literally unable to touch as you just roll down mid.
There's very few things that leave me speechless, but what was that?
There was no reasoning
Let's see
here.
this in its entirety.
Look at this. They're waiting to get ults, but why would you commit any ult in this fight? There's so much point control. You're down a player. What is the reasoning here of committing to this fight? There is none.
But, I mean, you should have died. You should have jumped off the cliff.
It's also because of this, when I think about it more, even though that looks really ridiculous, if they want to win the series, if they do want to get their only win of Contenders, they have to stop the first cap. Because even if they cap and just stop them from getting any ticks on last, it's a draw, and then the series is over anyways. So they did have to try to stop this to try to get one win in Contenders. But my goodness, what an interesting way to do it, though. It's their only explanation, the only logical explanation, because they want to try to get one match win. But they just gave up so much control. They were down a player. You had to approach that fight way differently than what was happened.
Yeah, that is a reasonable explanation for what we saw to a degree, but also just why do you let it escalate to that point? Like,
I don't.
You still had a chance earlier for a more reasonable defense. That was...
It happens.
Whatever. We are going to Route 66.
Route 66 to finish out the series.
Where NRG is still hoping and praying that...
And what I don't think... Well, actually, NRG can still hope and pray. If you're a fan of NRG, that is true. Because even them dropping one map here could potentially hurt their chances. The map scores are so close between the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th seeds. They're so... Well, actually, not so much the 2nd. It's really 3rd and 4th. And also Envy. Yeah. It's not so much 2nd. But... They do have those very close map scores. If any map at all, especially dropping it to Skyfox, could change the playoff chance.
It is important. Map score is super important here, especially as NRG is certainly not favored taking on second wind later in the day. But all right, final flight.
Just recover, you know, deep breaths.
I'm recovered. I'm recovered.
Deep breaths. We have to.
I'm done freaking out.
We saw that Hanamura, and we just have to move on.
All I'll say about that as Flower is that do we really need the C9 at the very end of it? Like,
well, I don't even know if it was so much a C9 as the fact that they literally could not touch the point because they're coming back from spawn because they died so late.
I'm pretty sure they could have touched the point.
Maybe.
However,
it's very possible.
It's Route 66. You know what? I believe in the Bastion. Skyfoxes, go out on a crazy note here. 3-3 might not be your style. Find your own style here in the final map. Don't go 0-20.
We'll see. We'll see is what I have to say to that. Is Doozy going to swap? Oh, they're going to do this without a main tank? They're going to do the Symmetra teleport?
Let's go!
What?
Go big or go home.
The teleport just went like 2 feet. And now Doozy's back in spawn? Is he... Oh, now, okay, he messed up the teleport, so he moved back to spawn so he could refresh the cooldown. But now Luna now Luna has no shield. He got Bubble now. Okay, so Doozy decided to swap to Monkey. There the engage coming out from the train from Envy.
Flanking Bastion, gonna get the gravy. It's working out pretty well so far. Envy was not prepared for the almighty Bastion opening Trill. No ults to smash. The Skyfoxes devastating Envy to start things out here.
I think Envy was as much confused as us by the initial engage there from Skyfoxes, and they had no idea how to respond. They're like, they put a Bastion up on the train, they don't have a main tank or a shield for it. How do we approach this? Are they throwing or?
It's a simple adage. If you don't know what you're doing, the enemy team doesn't know what you're doing. There's no way. Doesn't matter how many spies they have, if they even have spies. You never know.
I don't think they do. I don't think they have many spies.
Well, you know, why not? Spies are a great thing to invest in.
True. Skyfoxes now, though, in control of the map. They have those ult advantage build up. Envy swapping to that dive composition like we saw on Busan.
Claris holding on to the Barrage Trill. Going to be bouncing out of there in short order. And there's an opportunity here, especially with McGravy low. Get McGravy out of the fight, find an opportunity to go in, drop a Barrage. Skyfoxes are actually working with a decent amount of momentum.
Skyfoxes need to be a lot more aggressive, though, while that Valk was out. They need to be aggressive, but they will be able to get the Barrage here. They are going to get both tanks. They should get both tanks. Yeah. They do. They lose Luna in return, but that's fine. Verbo's still alive. They have the EMP. They shouldn't even necessarily have to use it because there's so much pressure from Claris now.
Claris judging that well. Could have went badly, but did not. Ends up with 3 before it's all said and done. And this is the most life we've seen in Skyfoxes all series long. Claris getting unleashed.
Ooh, he is doing some very crisp rockets. Claris is hitting some very, very good rockets. He's doing great. We've seen it on him this Pharah. He's looked so good. The EP is out. The Nano Blade, though, will Fisher be able to catch anyone?
Well, he got Verbo. That's a good start. Looking for a little bit more. Winston in the side. Takes it with McGravy. Dash reset. Back onto the Ana. Cleanup is there, and point A, still defensible.
Good
now
recontest.
Yeah.
Good recontest from Envy. Even though that EMP comes out, they're able to just enter in. The Nano Blade's already out. There's no defensible for Skyfoxes. While they're running that on a Mercy, they don't have a beat. They don't have a trance. And even if he gets one kill and just almost finishes another, which pretty much what happened to Doozy, then that's enough. That's all they need.
Envy be backing on off here. But they have so much time where they've been able to reset. This next fight still could go quite well for them. Kalios, now slouch with Raw Diva. Ult's gonna go in, but Luna isolate immediately. Envy saw the opportunity, sped boost in, but both on us out of the fight. But here's Trill, gonna be smashing right now. Primal Rage up, looking for the boop off the side, and not gonna go for it. Has to dodge Diva self-destruct. Fisher certainly couldn't, and this has been a slop fest, but Skyfoxes might be getting in.
Skyfox is actually back in control. I realize now, seeing that Nano, Crimso had saved Nano from the previous fight. It was just a Blade, but they're losing picks left and right. Doozy does go down late, though, so Skyfox does not have that main tech to continue to follow up. They are back on that good setup.
And here's the important part for Envy. You got Jaro coming back in. EMP is all set to go. And he's just going to drop this on the backhand side, uses it. Envy going to dive in, immediately getting no name. And yeah, they've lost Fisher, but it's not going to matter too much. Nowhere for Kalios to go. Mid-hack, he's going to get demeched here. And Envy, one fight away from a point A hold.
Envy having a great defense, using their ult effectively. That was a single ult fight win. That was a single ult fight win, even though McGravy got forced trying to exit. Oh. And now the stagger on Kalios, a brutal stagger.
He's not going to be back for the final fight.
They have 10 seconds to touch this point, and Kalios will not be there. They have to go. They have to go right now.
Move to the point.
Skyfoxes, please.
Wait, urgency. So, like, just please move in.
No, do not look behind you.
They're going to rally? Are they going to?
They have a second. Okay, they managed to touch. They managed to touch, but then the Blade comes out again. Nano Blade beat. They drop every ult. Envy knows this is the last fight. They know they have ult advantage. They dropped everything they needed.
Yeah, they ran right into Fisher and got cut up for their troubles. Envy holding here in point A, and the final map of the Skyfoxes, not going to be a very long flight.
Well, it's not over yet. It's not over yet. We see here the previous fight, we see that EMP, well played, but it's not over yet, CP. It's not. They could realistically still win. Now, probably not, but it's possible.
Bear in mind that for NA Contenders, I believe that this would be the first 0-20.
Would this be?
Yeah, even bye week got maps.
Well, there it is. There it is. As my good friend Matthew DeLisi would say, there it is.
There it is.
There it is. Envy looking so strong in this series.
I mean, it was also Jeff Goldblum.
Yeah, that's true. It was also
Jurassic
Jeff
Park.
Yeah, I mean, that's true.
Yeah.
I guess it was first, but really in the context, Super hasn't seen a lot of movies. He's not a very well-read, well-watched individual, so he hasn't really seen that.
What content has he consumed?
Like TikTok memes and a lot of gotchi. A lot of that.
You know what? I fear for the youth of our generation.
He's a genius, a true boy genius.
So Envy setting up on the attack, and well, they still can't mess around. They need every map victory they can get, so they can't get crazy the way Skyfoxes have. Skyfoxes, this is probably what we're going to see. Why not end with quad DPS? And in fairness, it has worked on this particular part of Route 66 before. It's something that Stormquake has certainly made very effective for them down in Contenders Korea, so it can work.
And especially on this map. Route 66, like you just talked about, this is the map where it's possible. It's very possible, and it must work, because I do not want to see them on goats. I want to see them play this composition, try to use it on the map where it's actually been pioneered and used to its best effectiveness.
Players looking for early Widow picks. The rare Widowmaker sighting, and you know, unfortunately, you don't play Widow a whole lot. You do lose that edge and immediate pickoffs. He had a moment there where he could have gotten something, but just not sharp enough.
Envy making the right swaps once again, going to that counter comp for Skyfoxes, getting the Sombra, getting the full dive. This is exactly what Envy needs to swap to. Good swaps, again, coming out from all. The H key so strong.
Well, Luna going to be falling here early, can't translocate away, and that's just quite bad. I mean, you're banking on the Sombra to get an EMP up early, and now you're down a player, the dive is coming in, you lose your Hammond. This is going from bad to worse for the Skyfoxes.
Yeah, they were able to get that hack and then chase, and a great sleep as well. Were they able to pick up Kalios? Not yet. He gets out. There it is. Gravy does get them in. It's looking like this is probably the end. Players are going to get picked up. They're just picking them off one by one. There's no defense happening here. There's no defense.
They're not going out with the bang. They're going out with the whimper. And that's what we're seeing right now. It's just Envy cruising to a map 4 victory. They're going to complete the 4-0. And this is obviously going to be putting a lot of pressure on NRG.
A lot of pressure. They have to have a great series. Now, there is some recontest happening, but Fissure almost has that Blade. They're about to have Nano too. They're just cleaning up a point. Blade's out. That'll be that.
That is that. And it ends with Fissure deflecting into a Widow.
Yep.
Her own shot.
Just a good metaphor. A good metaphor for the series.
You're saying the Skyfoxes did more damage to
themselves than anyone else, yes.
All right.
Though, really, that is taking some agency away from him, because Envy had a great series. They had a really good series. But yes, Skyfoxes, they just need to regenerate. Envy, though, Envy having one of the best series we've seen from them. They look so good, and we got to see them play some of their signature heroes like Fissure on Genji, even Jaru on the Sombra. Even though it's not quite his signature hero, he does have great plays on it.
Yeah, I think if you're an Envy fan, that this was very positive. And also, I mean, really, well, we'll see how it works out, but if I had to predict, I think Envy makes playoffs off this. I think
that
they get
4-0 is really good, especially since Second Wind is no slouch. That upcoming game, NRG has to play. Second Wind is there at the top of their group, and NRG has to win this. They have to win this. They can't afford any other thing other than a victory.
Well, if you think about this, when you wake up in the morning, which would you rather have someone tell you? You need to get a 4-0 against Skyfoxes, or you need to get a 4-0 against Second Wind?
Definitely the 4-0 against Skyfoxes.
Yeah, and we just saw it here, so I think one scenario is a bit easier than the other, so Envy benefiting from having a lot of their hard games in this particular group earlier in the season, so they get to finish out on what was, frankly, a bit of a stomp.
Especially as they improved throughout the season as well, so they got to have some of those teams that weren't quite as strong towards the end, while they themselves had that arc of improvement. So that was probably the best thing that could have happened for them here, because they could have potentially secured their playoffs run, but that is still contingent on our next match. Second Wind NRG.
And guess what? That next match, it's coming up right after the break. So guys, if you're curious about the fate of Second Wind, the fate of NRG, and where it relates to Envy, don't go away. Coming right back.